Right, well, we've just moved off from our original location, our landing location. You can just see the flag there in the background. What we're going to do is we're going to try going down this slope in this direction. We're not quite going straight downhill, so we are sliding. We've just gone onto the slopes. Oh dear, we managed to miss that biome, so we're going to have to go back. It looks like it's upside down, but it isn't. Well, Bob's coming up on this flats area now. We've done lowlands, midlands and slopes so far. We're still in the slopes biome. This is the Grumpf bug vehicle, looking very small. So I think this is going to prove to be a very profitable journey. Yes, you're going home. Don't worry, Bob, you're going home very shortly. So let's take and restore. That's just so... Oh dear, that's just so funny. Is he any happier now? No, he's no happier. And we are now ready to go home. Now, going home is actually easier than getting here because we just need to slow down and curbing will do the rest. Now, slowing down actually means speeding up. Speeding up backwards. So we'll put a maneuver node right here and we'll just speed up backwards. And the idea is for your ejection direction to be basically along your orbit for the most efficient return. So we want to line these up. There we go. So you're basically going directly backwards. Well, not quite directly backwards. There we go. Something like that. And we're going to get our periapsis down, which is currently 23 million kilometers. And we're going to pull that in. And the more we pull that in, the more we're going to be flung out in this direction. So we need to keep moving the maneuver node around. So what are we now? At 13. Pull back. We've got an encounter with the Mun there. So let's pull it round again. So we're at 8 million. And just keep moving. Keep going. So again, let's just move it round. So what are we now? We're at 3 million. One million. 877. There you can see 877 kilometers down there. So again, we can bring this around a bit further. I think we can do a bit more as well. There we go, 798. So if you look, we're going exactly back along the orbit. There we go, exactly back along the orbit. Bring it in. There we go, 400, 100. There we go, down to 67. Oops, too far. Actually managed to get some radial in as well. We didn't want any of that. I think I must have hovered over the radial marker at some point. Now we're actually in the surface, so let's pull back a little bit. Pull ourselves back out. There we go. 33 is probably a little bit higher. I usually go to just under 20. So let's use precise node to add in a little more. There we go. Maybe a bit too much there. 29. Let's go down nearer 28. There we go. 29. Perfect. Now we're going to be coming in at quite a hefty angle, so we can also change that if we want to. Going the wrong way. We can also pull on this handle here, the normal handle, or anti-normal, going down. Now it looks like that will leave us with an encounter with the Mun, which is actually not what we want. So to be honest, let's do without the cosmetic improvement. We had plenty of Delta V, but let's do without that unfortunate interloper and just go straight back for a landing coming in very steeply over the poles. It doesn't actually matter, we just need to get all this lovely science home. Now we do have KOS now, we have that on the mothership, so let's run our node script. Run, preferably. And let's get going home. So where are we? We are here. So we've got 27 minutes to the node. So we can click on the warp to node button. It will bring us around. You can see the purple line, our predicted trajectory lining up. Seem to have managed to get in a tiny bit of normal. Never mind, we will make any final adjustments later. So there's 3 minutes to go. Let's line ourselves up, ready to go home. Now this is going to take us 175 meters per second, and we have 1400 left. We had plenty of delta V, absolutely masses. We could, well, with that encounter on the Mun, no. We are not going to the Mun. Bob, we are not going to the Mun. Save that for another day. So there we go. We've got 2 minutes 44 seconds. We've got a 10-second burn, so we're going to be aligning, or the script will attempt final alignment adjustments at 1 minute and 5. So let's go forward to 1 minute and 5. There we go, 2 minutes. 1 minute 30 coming up. There we go. So tiny bit of adjustment, and then we are going to burn at around T-6. So there we go, down to 15 seconds. Bring the time warp back down. And there we go. So it looks like we're going backwards, and then that is in fact exactly what we're doing. We are going faster backwards. So there we go. How much are we going to have left? 1.5 left. And we were already a bit short. So let's just trickle a little bit more out. Ooh, way too much. I said trickle. Jeez. Bob, tell Val what trickle means. So let's close that window. Let's warp to the change of SOI. We're still focused on Minmus at this point, so let's just double click on Kerbin to focus on Kerbin. And we'll make some final adjustments to our trajectory a little bit later. So we're just arriving at SOI. So we had 3 minute margin to SOI, so let's just accelerate a little bit further, and when we drop out of SOI, sphere of influence, we should get it to recalculate the periapsis and see if we're even worse than we thought. So we're just crossing sphere of influence. There we go. We are now out of the sphere of influence, and 14, that's probably a little too much. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a slight adjustment across here on this maneuver node, on this marker, the radial marker, and just trickle out a little bit more till we get up to about 22, 29. There we go, 29 or 30. That should be good enough. So now all we have to do is go home. Well, we are back at Kerbin. The sun has just set over the northern horizon, and we are now at 200 kilometers above the surface. Now, let us collapse the panels, because we don't need those anymore. Let's see if we can save those. Now, this is the last part of our journey, our last part of our escapades to Minmus, our odyssey to Minmus. Now, in theory, I have a separator in here. I have parachutes on this lower section, and I have some parachutes on the upper section. But you know what? I very much doubt I am going to be able to save the lot. But let's get the staging set up. This is the top separator. Yeah, so that's that one there. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to release the parachutes. So that's all the parachutes you can see there, to slow us right down. And then at the last second, what we're going to do is we're going to cut some of the parachutes up here at the top and see if we can lay the whole craft down onto whatever it is we land on. Because if this thing topples over, this is going to smash. And if this smashes, we're in big trouble. So let's just see where we are right now. So we are coming in. I'll go to the map view. We're coming in. Oh look, that's KSC right there. So with any luck, we're going to be landing in the ocean somewhere here. Because Kerbin's rotating this way, so we might actually land at KSC. Good lord, that's completely unplanned. So it really depends how much the planet of Kerbin rotates. So is this KSC here? God blimey, couldn't have planned it if I tried. Well, I didn't plan it. We didn't plan it, did we, Val? No. So there we go. We're at 93 kilometres, so we'll be in the atmosphere very shortly. We're coming in at 3 kilometres a second. So let's get ourselves lined up on retrograde. I do have, underneath here, I do have a heat shield, but we'll use the engine as a heat shield for at least most of the descent to see how it goes. So we're still speeding up, 3.2 kilometres, and we are now officially in the atmosphere. And no, I am not doing an EVA report. Bob's worked hard enough. Bob's worked hard enough. So here we go. When we get to about here, we're going to start seeing some of the atmospheric effects. We've got chute safety indicator lit up, showing us it is not safe. And no, it definitely isn't. So let's keep ourselves lined up as best we can. So let's go orbit mode, then surface mode. So we're now looking at our speed relative to the surface is 3.1 kilometres. So try not to get into a spin, that would not be good. So we are slowing down. So the effects are a little more exaggerated than well, the thickness of the atmosphere and our rate of deceleration would suggest. We're still in the green so far as G-forces go. Let's just keep over, just very gently keep on that retrograde marker. Bob is surrounded by flames. Can we see them? No, we can't see them yet. Oh, there we go. Bob is surrounded by flames, and yet he's happier when he was floating in, than he was when he was floating in space. Good old Bob. Oh dear. So we are on the dark side now. So where are we? So there's the. I think that's KSC over there. So we've passed over KSC. So we're not going to be as close to KSC as we might have liked. But we should still be in this ocean. Let's pop back out to the map and just see our trajectory. Yeah, we passed over KSC, so that was that island, not the emergency airspace. Oops! Oops! Something just exploded. Oh dear, we lost something. What did we lose? I don't know. Oh dear, we lost something. At least we didn't lose any parachutes. We'll check later. Oh dear! So much for looking at where we're going to land. So we've lost something, but we've got all our parachutes, and that's the important thing. We've got all of our. What did we lose? I can't see what we did lose. Because we've got. Looks like we've got all our batteries, all our parachutes. We've got all of our. There we go, we got our solar panels. What did we lose? Oh dear, we'll soon find out. I've got a feeling it might actually be some of the components in here. I do find that these USI containers stick out very slightly. And so we may find we actually lost some of the food containers and whatever we had in these containers in here. So that's probably... Ah, no, there we go. That's what we lost. We lost a couple of these. We lost a couple of these radial supply tanks, because I think there were 3 on here, one of each, food, water and oxygen. So I think we lost a couple of those, because we are slightly off retrograde, so they must have heated up and exploded. Jeez, gave me a heart attack. But if that's all we lost, great. Oh dear. Apoapsis height is now 27, so we're definitely not going to be going back up again. We're going to be passing this coastline here, going on into this piece of ocean. So what have we got? We've got a periapsis that's well inside the planet's surface. We're now at 1.5 kilometers a second. Still going very horizontally, so I probably could have come back a little bit more deeply into the atmosphere and might have saved. Oh jeez. Oh, my heart is pumping. I don't know what Bob and Val were doing when they exploded. When the we've got frozen mountains down here. Jeez, we're getting really a long way south. But hopefully we'll land gently. We'll belly flop gently into the water. 20 kilometres up, we're going to be going into the thicker part of the atmosphere now, so we really are going to start slowing down. And we really do need to be as close to that retrograde marker as we can be. I found using the retrograde marker tends to shake quite a lot as the control systems desperately try to keep the system level. So doing it manually can actually be better. Now we've gone below 1 kilometre a second. The heating effects are changing now for aero effects, these white air effects. And we're beginning to slow down very, very quickly now. 600 metres per second. So it looks like, well, hopefully, let's just change our orientation. We might be landing here, and this is not good. This is not good at all. This is very, very not good. I want it to land in the water because then we could try and land sideways. So the moment they go green, we're going to pop the chutes. There we go, pop the chutes. We're going to turn the SAS off, and with any luck, we will land just here. So we're slowing right down. As long as we slow in the water, we can use the trick for getting rid of 3 of these parachutes and then laying it over as far as we can go. I think we're going to be able to do it. We're going to land right in this shallow water here and just be off coast, just be off the shore. Excellent. Because with these, with all of these parachutes here, if I try to lay it over, that's about as far as it's going to go, and I don't think that's enough. And we'd slap down so hard, we'd probably crush Bob in his capsule, or rather Val in her capsule. Val's in the top one. So we've still got 2.5 kilometres to go. We're at 83 metres per second. So we're over water, so that means this is the true terrain height above the water. So we've got 8 parachutes, that's plenty for this. And if we really get stuck, mind you, if we've cut the parachutes already, I don't know that we can. So, Bob, I know you are happy to get back, but this could be it. But at least we're going to be in the water. Okay, so we're 800 metres up. We're coming straight down. The parachutes have now fully opened. We're only 5.5 metres per second. So let's now accelerate physical time warp and get ourselves as close to the water as we can and then lie ourselves over. So we're still about 5.5 metres per second. That's fine. So we're about 300 metres up. So what we're going to do, we're going to try leaning over this way. Which way is the capsule? No, we're going to try leaning over. Let's rotate. Keep the capsules facing up. So we're going to lean over. Which way? This way? This way. So what we want to do is cut 1 parachute, 2 parachutes, and 3 parachutes. There we go. Cut those parachutes. And now we're going to try and lean it over as far as it's going to go. It's not far enough. We got rid of all of them. We have, haven't we? Yeah, well, we got rid of 4 of them. So let's see, a swing over and see if we can just rotate it round. Is it going to come down any further? We're 100 meters up. We've got it to about 45 degrees. I don't want to release any more parachutes because I don't want us to hit the ground and hit the water any faster. Done it. Fantastic. Well done, Bob. Well done, Val. Great bit of piloting. Whew. Now's time to get back to KSC, get recovered, and see how much science we got. Whew, dear, that was a long mission, but it was worth it. When we left, we had 68.5 science. So, a little bit of maths, a little bit of rounding. We have 2,865 science points gained. On the vessel itself, there were 2,105 science, and we transmitted the rest. That was absolutely breathtaking. We've got things like 150 science for surface samples. We've got 50 science for mystery goo, 125 science for materials bay. That was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Now, there will be some people who will be thanking me for recovering a few extra parts because I have been rather lazy at recovering fuel tanks and engines from my lower stages. So we actually recovered 18,000 science, almost 18,500 science. Now I happen to know the vehicle cost 109,000. So to be honest, recovering just that small set of extra tanks probably didn't save that much, but we do still have the Grumpfbug 1 in orbit around Minmus, so technically that isn't lost. And the crew, of course, Valentina gained 4 XP for that flight, and Bob gained 6 XP and has advanced to level 2. Brilliant. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching this short escapade out to Minmus. If you liked the episodes, please do like the episodes, and if you want to subscribe, hit that subscription button. And with that said, I'd like to thank you for watching. I'd like to thank Val and Bob for their expertise, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.